So first is the transaction speed. It settles in 3 to 4 seconds, no matter how large the value is. Second, scalability. It processes up to 1,500 transactions per second. Third, cost efficiency. Very low transaction fees, about fractions of a penny. Fourth, trust and partnerships. This is very important because they have collaborations with major financial institutions, relationships with central banks, and at the end of the day, it's not always the best tech. It's the relationships. For example, look at the Ethereum alliance, okay? ETH, it was because of trust and relationships, regardless how corrupt it was, okay? So at the end of the day, it's a big club. And lastly is versatility from this standpoint. It can facilitate instant currency conversion without intermediaries. And what that would ultimately do is, because you don't need all these nostro vostro, which are pre-funded accounts sitting holding trillions of dollars, they don't need to be there anymore because you don't need all these middlemen and intermediaries. All that money can go back into the economy, into different sectors of the economy, and all that capital will be offloaded, and it wouldn't have to just sit doing nothing in pre-funded accounts. So those advantages make XRP extremely attractive for financial institutions. And in my humble opinion, I think that would be a very logical choice for central banks and financial institutions. I mean, I could tell you as far back in 2009, a UN panel actually proposed replacing the US dollar-based system to ensure global stability. And this was right after the system died during the 2008 financial crisis, and then they came out with quantitative easing to artificially inject life support to keep the system going. So as you can see, this has been discussed and planned out long, long ago. So here's exactly how utility will drive XRP's price in the future and how it will reach very high digits in the future. First of all, if you're familiar with the bull run cycles that happen every 4 years, then you should already know by now that they're driven by one thing, and that's liquidity. Now, here's the interesting thing. The same principle applies to XRP's future, but with a twist. As utility increases on the XRP ledger and with the token, so does liquidity, because as adoption takes place and utility takes place, more liquidity comes onto the network. So what it does is it creates this feedback loop that pushes the price higher over time. And it will go higher over time because there's only a limited supply of a maximum of 100 billion XRP. So you're wondering, okay, how will this play out? How will it manifest? Here's how it works. The first thing that will drive up the price of XRP to extremely high levels is utility and adoption growth. Because as financial institutions adopt XRP, they'll use it for transactions, reducing the supply available to the public. So this will create this shrinking supply that will drive demand over time. And as a result, price will go up over time. It's simple math. Number two is institutional demand. As institutions acquire and hold XRP as a tool, remember, they won't be putting it back onto the exchanges or onto the market. They won't be trading this asset and, just doing shallow trading. With XRP's limited supply, their retention will reduce market availability over time and gradually pushing prices much higher. And this will likely happen on a global scale. So why would institutions ever sell XRP back onto the market? Logically, they wouldn't. They'd be acquiring it so they could use, because it would be considered a valuable asset for them to have and to potentially even put on their balance sheet. We don't know, but they'll be using it as a tool. Third is on-demand liquidity. As liquidity pools basically will unlock trillions of dollars, this will further increase the demand for XRP down the road. It will basically create a cycle of rising prices by its growing utility. And this is the liquidity pools. So to simplify it, this is economics 101. It's supply and demand. And this is really on a kindergarten level. And you understand the amount of value and money in the world sitting in central banks, in the derivatives market, cross-border payments, sitting in nostro vostro pre-funded accounts. You can easily calculate potential value projections of the price. But that's not what this video is about. I just wanted to give you a 3-element explanation for what will drive the price. And I know many people use it as a metric, market cap. They use market cap as a metric to judge an asset's potential future price, but that's really dumb and illogical. And I'll explain why. Because market cap is irrelevant to forecasting the future. But why is it irrelevant? It's because it's a fluid psychological metric, that changes and will change as adoption and utility increases. So it's not a valid indicator. Market cap doesn't take into account how exponential growth can drive an asset's value overnight. It doesn't take into account utility or global adoption, just like we've seen in the past with equities. So companies like Google and Amazon, their market caps were very low. And then all of a sudden, an influx of liquidity increased the market cap over time. And then it reflected in the price. So XRP's true potential lies in its utility. and the use case, practicality, which will ultimately drive its market cap to levels people can't even imagine in the future. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's going to happen today, tomorrow. Who knows? It could be a year from now. It could be 5, 10 years. We don't know. So clearly, XRP is positioned to revolutionize finance and the banking system. And the price action we're seeing just now is only the start.
One you like is Ripple. You said it is the coin to be looking at right now.
Absolutely.
Why?
Okay, so Ripple actually was the second largest coin prior to the SEC's investigation of them. They did this really weird lawsuit against them, and basically the Ripple's going to be the track that everything's going to be running on in the future. And a stable coin right now.
Okay.
And Bank of America, like I said, they were doing 100% of their internal transactions. They've got 83 different patents on it, and there's some incredible stuff that's going to be coming out. So Bank of America, like I said, they were doing 100% of their internal transactions. They've got 83 different patents on it, and there's some incredible stuff that's going to be coming out. So
the cynics, though, Tony, only put as much in this space as you're willing to lose. Effectively, as of now, some people say it feels like a casino. Do you agree with that?
That's the best example I have is this. Don't not get involved with something. Do whatever you would do for a nice weekend away with your spouse.
Okay.
And instead of doing that weekend, maybe put that in crypto. Here's what I'll tell you. 3 to 5 years from now, you either made some real money or you just lost one weekend together. Not a big deal.
I know, but I could have had that vacation.
You
right,
could have had the
David?
vacation or you made your retirement. You could have had the vacation or you made your retirement.
Well